Welcome back.
Welcome to Man Duos. Oh, that wasn't even
that one
planned.
on purpose that time. So we're going to be talking about Midnight today.
Long-term WoW fans, we haven't played in a bit. Is Midnight good enough to bring us back? That's what we're expanding upon. And we're also going to be getting into some of our lore.
Okay.
Some of our ancient history.
Our lore.
Some of the tablets.
It's not as ancient as one might think.
Yeah. Gonna get in some history.
10 years old.
What got us into World of Warcraft? What was some of our favorite memories?
This is a long intro.
Are we starting herbaceously?
This guy has been kind of a phenomenon.
Herbaceously?
At timestamps below if you want to be a skippy boy.
Skippity skip.
Let's get into it. Hey, check out the lighting.
Yeah.
It's a midnight. It's a midnight purple.
Dude, it's midnight purple.
Yeah.
That's why you did it. I was
Yeah.
wondering why it was purple. I was like red, blue together, but it was because or did that just randomly come up? That randomly came up too. You're not that intuitive.
Okay, I like the whole red blue thing together because we're like the duos.
Dude, yeah, but also it is the midnight colors. So, I'll give you that. Good job.
Are we doing a game segment or what's your thought?
Don't really have too much like a structured game, more just like questions and just question options. No, don't bring out the dad joke. That thing sucks.
This is a themed dad joke.
Is it?
Why don't skeletons fight each other? Because they don't have the guts.
Those are stupid. Those are just bad. Dude.
Hey, my daughter got me these emergency dad jokes.
Just in case emergency, we need a joke.
But like skeletons, World of
Yeah,
Warcraft.
you know what? You're
what
not
I mean?
wrong. There's some skeletons in World of Warcraft.
There are some skeletons, yeah.
Speaking of World of Warcraft, we started Midnight.
We did.
On launch. We were very hesitant if we were going to jump into this.
I'll start off by saying one of the reasons I was hesitant is because not only do you have to pay for the expansion, but you also have to sign up for a subscription.
Yeah.
When is Blizzard going to eliminate one or the other? I just feel like both it's way too egregious.
It's too much, man.
It's like you have to pay for the expansion and then also in addition to that, $15 a month.
I know. It's like we're doing it for the vids when we were buying it. I was like, I just got to buy the new sub. Like, it takes forever. I mean, we'll see how long we're playing it for. It is a fun game. We do enjoy the game, but it's just, it's definitely a sour taste in your mouth when you have to buy both of those.
I understand that Blizzard wants money. Okay.
What?
But not only is there a hefty price for the expansion,
Yes.
a fairly hefty subscription fee per month.
Yeah.
Also, they have a crazy amount of microtransactions in their shops.
In the game, yeah.
And so
You don't have to buy those, but
it's so hard to get back into World of Warcraft when you have to do both a subscription and an expansion.
it's
like
$50 for the new expansion and $15 for the subscription. It just feels like when you play other games, like I'll bring it back, like the PoE or whatever, it's a free game. And then monthly. I mean, technically you have to buy it for early access.
You had to buy it for early
access. But it's going to be
access.
free. But even so, you don't have to pay monthly, right? I mean, I don't know. It seems like such an old model and it needs to be adapted. There's so many more options out there for gaming. You don't need to spend that kind of money. We like WoW. We have that, we've been playing it for a while, so we get that itch. So, but new players are going to be like, no. I feel like it's going to be hard to get new players.
Well, I have a hard time recommending it to any of my friends
because it's so expensive.
Because I know that they're gonna have to do. Yeah, it's
can't justify it a lot of times.
Before we dig into the nitty gritty of Midnight, that was the first thing to hit me. Was
it started with some sour already, dude. We started with a little bit of sour.
Anyways,
but I guess before we do some reviews of Midnight, we can talk about our history of World of Warcraft, why we love it, why we went back to it, even though the price tag stung a little bit. So for me, I started back in Wrath. I was that kid that played RuneScape because he had to, because it was free. And I used to play the level 20 boost, the free boost that World of Warcraft they used to have back in the day. You could download just like a free version, and then you can get to level 20 and then you max out. And then you can't get any farther. And I probably made like 30 of these free accounts.
So it's like a trial or a demo.
Yeah,
kind of
trial
thing.
account. Yeah. And I played them so much. I played every class because I was homeschooled, so I could play a lot, but I didn't have any money to pay for the subscription. Couldn't get my parents to do it. So I played RuneScape and then the free trial when I could. And then I finally got a job. started making some cheddar, and then
Were
I
you
was
in
like,
like high school at this point?
yeah, right when it was 15 is when I started working as homeschooled,
Okay.
so I was able to start working pretty early. And then I bought myself a computer, and then I bought World of Warcraft, and I was the most excited. I got it Wrath of Lich King mid-end expansion of Wrath, so I didn't start too early, and it was so overwhelming when you first get on when there's just so much stuff to do. But there's so many memories I have of like just seeing some like guy on this hill, this mage with these awesome gear. And I remember being a free account, like, oh,
I want to be
that's
that guy.
gonna be me
I want to be
someday.
that guy.
The gear looked so much better than any other game that existed. And it was just like, there was so much hype for the game. And so I finally got it, and I played since Wrath until today. I've been playing nonstop. Well, I played nonstop for a long time. I guess we've kind of taken a break since.
Yeah.
Ooh.
It's about Legion is when it started happening.
Legion might have when it started to die down a little bit. We did play some. I played a little bit of Shadow. We played some Shadowlands and stuff like that.
Nowadays we play seasonally.
Yeah, now we play like a couple
Typically-
months and then we're done.
Yeah, if we play an expansion, which I guess if I'm not thinking about it, we've played every expansion.
Yeah, you've played.
right.
Yeah, because
But-
you started in Draenor.
Yeah, I did. I started in Warlords of Draenor, but yeah, we were kind of seasonally now, where we'll play an expansion for a couple months, and then it just tapers off for us now. But when did that start? Because up until there was a point where you were playing hard like all the time, right?
I was playing all the time. I think the last time I went hardcore was probably Legion, because that's when I was doing hardcore mythic raiding,
Okay.
and that's when we were doing like 3-4 days a week. We beat the I don't even remember the name of the raid now. The
3-4 days a week of mythic raiding.
Mythic
Gotcha.
raiding, and it's like 5 hours a night, and it's hard. It was hardcore. It was super fun. That was when it was Bellingham, right?
Yeah.
And then I was in my room all the time and just being a no lifer for a bit, but it was fun, and you get to experience the game at the top notch level. And just 20 people going in, one mess up, whole wipe. Mythic is a different animal than normal
it's a different
heroic.
beast, mate.
It's very different. It's not even the same game as like normal heroic, but it is really fun. And Legion was that big time. I also did a lot in Cataclysm. Back when before Mythic was a thing, it was just heroic raiding. I did that. Those are my two biggest raiding expansions. The rest were probably just dungeons and maybe completionist stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then I introduced you to World of Warcraft, and you started in Draenor, which is the worst time possible to get someone into a World of Warcraft, unfortunately.
Yeah, my history was I was a RuneScape Andy for a while. That was my jam. That's how I got into no-lifing video games for a lot when I was younger, in middle school, and that was a good time. But it's kind of the same thing where I didn't have the money when I was that young to buy an expansion, to buy the seasonal, so I just never played.
Yep, skipped it.
I'd heard about World of Warcraft, and I'd always thought it'd be cool, but then once I started getting older, I knew how much of an addictive personality I had and when it came to video games, and I knew that I just had this stigma in my mind. I can't ever try World of Warcraft, or else I'd probably just go down a rabbit hole.
Yeah, it's too late.
So later on, right? I was like, 25?
Something like that. We were living in Bellingham at the time. Roommates. We were roommates.
I was playing with you and some of our other friends at some other games and such. Then I started dabbling into the World of Warcraft, Warlords of Draenor. People say it was a bad expansion, but for me it was fun because I was a bushy-tailed, bright-eyed little nublet, trying out for the first time. And I was doing I just thought the idea of being a fury warrior with two-hand weapons, I thought that was dope. So I was a fury warrior.
Dabbled in some tanking.
I hadn't done any tanking that expansion.
Oh, you didn't do any on the first?
No,
you just did fury? Okay.
I was just fury.
Okay.
And then I started later on in Legion.
That's okay.
I started expanding my horizons.
That's when you started playing the most too, because I remember you played a little bit in Draenor with me, but like not a whole bunch. It was more just kind of like you leveled, you played a little bit. You're like, it's cool, but it didn't draw you in. And then Legion came out, which was an actual good expansion.
Legion is
content.
what hooked me.
Well, that's the best expansion since probably Wrath.
Yeah.
And you didn't play Wrath, so everything else prior or after, I don't think has been as good as Legion. That was kind of, I feel like one of the peaks of WoW.
Yeah.
So
Well, I loved the weapon system. You know,
the legendary,
the Legion weapon system where you could get different appearances for it. You could unlock different powers in your weapon and everything. Was that the introduction of borrowed power? Was it Legion?
Yes.
Yeah.
But it was done well. There was a little bit of that in the augmentation system in Cataclysm where you could change the stats and stuff. That was kind of like maybe the first testing ground for being able to change stuff, but they got rid of that.
Yeah.
And then I think Legion was the first, because before Legion was Warlords, and they didn't have any of that in Warlords. So
it's interesting because it seemed like for a while every other expansion was trying to capitalize on the success of Legion.
Yep.
But they didn't do it as good, and so it just kind of started falling flat. Like I remember I tried to play BFA.
Battle for Azeroth was atrocious.
And I had loved Legion, right?
Yep.
So I started trying to play Battle for Azeroth, and I couldn't. Like I leveled up a mage. I was doing arcane mage, did some dungeons. I don't know what it was. It might have also been the time of my life that also played a part, but I quit. Like I didn't even give BFA much of a chance.
Understandably.
So
it was BFA was horrible. The bard system with the gear, I can't remember what it's called. It was like Azerite gear, Azerite armor. It was bad. I played a little bit of it because I always play the expansions. I always play a little bit more than you, but it was bad. That was my first like expansion that I played, and I was like, I'm kind of stopped playing WoW. I'm not gonna play WoW anymore. And then I stopped.
It was interesting. I think because I'd loved Legion so much that it was that drastic comparison between Legion and these epic weapons and everything. And then going into BFA where all my weapon stuff that I'd worked on was completely wiped out. And it was this weird Heart of Azeroth system. I was like,
it was horrible. And the system sucked too. Like it wasn't even fun. Then we skipped to that, and then we go to Shadowlands, and that got us back, I would say, a little bit more, because we were a little more excited about the Torghast thing. But it was still not the best experience. But we did have more friends that played. That's when we played with a couple more friends. So we did play that expand. That was besides Legion, you might even played that more than Legion.
I think I did play Shadowlands more than Legion.
Because that was when we hardcore Mythic raided, or Mythic Plus. So I would have
Mythic Plus.
Hardcore Mythic Plus was in Shadow.
I did some Mythic raiding, but just kind of pugging it.
You did Mythic?
Yeah, some pugging.
Oh,
a little bit. I did more Mythic raiding in the War Within though. I had gotten my Shaman healer really pumping.
Okay.
And I was able to do some Mythic raids, pugs, because they could see my they could go into my logs with the heroic raids and see that I was,
I didn't know you dabbled in Mythic yet there.
I did, yeah.
Just a couple bosses.
Again, it was pugging though.
Yeah.
I've never been a part of a legit raiding group where we were scheduled to raid. I just kind of like raided whenever I wanted to.
You didn't do prog, you just did like fill. So
yeah, you know what? Maybe I didn't do any Mythic and Shadowlands. I'm trying to remember. I feel like I did at least some of the beginning Mythics.
You might have done, because there's a lot of like Mythic raids that like the first couple bosses are farmable, and then it's like not until you get to the end.
Right.
I haven't done Mythic in a while, so I don't know the difficulty levels if they've honed them down a little bit. But in Legion, I remember that being super spicy.
I mean, they're definitely hard, but always the first couple bosses are a little bit easier, right?
For sure, yeah.
But some people hate on Shadowlands. I thought that there were certain things that Shadowlands did right. I actually liked Torghast.
I like the idea of Torghast.
The idea of Torghast, we had fun. Remember that one time we went through Torghast and kind of it was like the augment system where you could get different powers.
We love augments on this channel, by the way.
The problem with the Torghast system is that they made it mandatory, and it was a weekly thing and it ended up like kind of burning it out for us.
The legendary was kind of meh that they had with it, and like I don't know, it wasn't bad. Like it wasn't as punch in the face as like Battle for Azeroth or anything. It was a little bit better, but it was still going down that direction that I wasn't liking, and I ended up quitting that one. You played longer in that expansion than I did.
I kind of liked the Covenant system. I thought it was pretty unique and interesting that you could you could sign up for these different covenant for certain things, different aesthetics,
Yeah.
and I kind of liked that.
That wasn't a bad
Yeah,
thing.
there
You get
was-
to pick your. It was kind
Yeah.
of like bringing back the Horde and Alliance within an expansion because that's not
Yeah.
really a thing anymore.
The whole legendary system definitely needed. It was, and then the need to do Torghast to that whole that was probably the biggest thing that was, in my opinion, bad about Shadowlands.
Yeah, it just had tons. To me, it just had similar problems to the other expansion with a couple extra little fluff in there. Like to me, it was still just going downhill. The content wasn't engaging enough for me personally. But I mean, like to each his own. It's still a popular game. People love it. But it was just starting to like lose its appeal. It was like there's not much new coming out. More dungeons, a little bit more gear that looks cool, and that's kind of all of it was. So I didn't really play that too much. Besides, we played with friends, and then we kind of cut it.
Well, the systems in World of Warcraft that they're implementing, for me, it kind of led to a World of Warcraft fatigue.
Yeah,
Because there were all these systems, FOMO systems, built into the game. Where you had to log on, do your dailies, your weeklies, and everything like that
so
before
annoying.
the reset. All of that, it led to this fatigue of
it's a job.
because if I took a break, then I was behind, and that was a whole FOMO. And then if I took a long enough break, then I would just quit.
Yeah, and one of the things I actually hated the most too was the vault system for Mythic Plus or Raid. At the end of the week, you get your vaults, right? Well, now I have to do all these I got to do 10 dungeons this week in order to get the vault the max the vault that I want. And
there's this FOMO of like, if you feel like you don't do those 10 dungeons and the high level dungeons, then you're not going to potentially get the loot that you want.
And then you won't get invited to groups because of the way the system. It doesn't feel good to play a game for you have to, not because it's fun.
Right.
And WoW is turning into a job. I'd have some fun moments, but it was more just maintenance. Like I had to maintain my character, and it wasn't an enjoyable experience to do so. So
it was fun. It was interesting because when you're in it and you're at the peak and you're doing all this stuff and you haven't reached that fatigue yet, it's super fun.
Well, it's fun when for us, it was fun when we Mythic Plus pushed. That's when it was fun. But we had to do other things to maintain. We had to do world quests. We had to do daily quests. We had to do all this stuff.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Is like, when it's in its peak for me at least, I don't necessarily mind doing all that stuff when I'm like in it. But then once I want to take a little bit of a break, then it's like, then I'm just quitting.
Yeah, because it's like you feel like you can't take a break,
right?
For sure, I agree with that. And then Dragonlands, right? Dragonlands, that was called.
Oh yeah,
Dragon Isles.
Yeah.
The Dragon Isles came out, and they had some better stuff coming out with that, with the dragon flying, which was kind of cool because normal flying has always been boring, so it was a little bit interactive. But besides that, it kind of felt the same again. So then I played the least of Dragon Isles.
I played a lot more Dragonflight than you did.
Dragonflight, that's
yeah.
The Dragon Isles is the place.
I was thinking it was the War Within, but I think it's Dragonflight when I started doing like more mythic raiding. Because that's when I did the shaman, right? Yeah.
Yeah, you did. Oh, you did the
That's when I
shaman with the War
started.
Within too, though, because that was when Delves came in. We did a lot of Delves together in the War Within.
Dude, it's kind of fuzzy now.
No,
now
they're
that I'm
kind of
thinking
fuzzy.
about it.
See, honestly, the War Within and Dragonflight kind of mix into me together.
You're
Like,
right. The War Within is my shaman peak shaman.
yeah,
You're right.
I think so. Yeah,
Okay.
but you were doing priest and stuff.
Yeah, the Dragonflight Priest.
Dragonflight Priest,
yeah.
with
Okay.
Shadow
okay.
Priest and stuff.
All right, I'm filling in the gaps.
Filling
now.
in the
I'm
gaps,
filling
dude.
in the gaps.
There's a lot of expansions, man.
Yep.
And some of them kind of blend
Yep.
in.
I really wanted to do Shadow Priest,
So
I did Shadow / Holy Priest during that expansion.
So we did the Dragonflight, Dragon Isles. To me, that was it wasn't as bad as like Shadowlands for me, but it was nothing new besides the flying. Really, it just felt like another
same, but a little bit of different.
Same, but a little
paint.
different. And then we got into the War Within, which started going in a better direction. You could tell that the devs were starting to do something new. The Delve system came in. I love the Delve system.
I actually really like the Delve system.
I like because we can go in with a group, just me and you, or you can go in solo, and it's just like a fun experience. And there was like little extra challenges on difficulty and stuff that you can do. There's a lot more they can do with the Delve system, and I think they should, because it's fun to do group content with 5, but sometimes you might want to have 1, 2, or 3 people just have a good time and maybe make it hard content.
Make it hard.
Rewarding.
Put more like RNG augment type systems. Make it like almost like a mini roguelite in a way.
Mm-hmm.
I love the way that you can upgrade and level up your companion and get different curios for your companion that are different. I like that.
There's lots of cool options they can do with it.
Yeah.
I want, this is just me, I'm biased. I want them to essentially make delves as hard as like Mythic Plus or whatever. Just extra content for less people. You can get just as good gear, all that stuff, but make it difficult, you know? That's what I want. Because I want to be able to just go into delves and get gear with just maybe just me and you, or like 2 or 3 people.
Make it like a little mini roguelite that's really challenging the further you progress, but it's very rewarding.
Yeah, like towards like the crazy ends of it, you could get that high Mythic Plus gear, you know, maybe low Mythic gear or high Heroic gear or something like that. Be able to progress in the content that you enjoy instead of forced to play content that's not as fun. Like I hated when we were doing Mythic Plus when I had to go into a raid and get the trinket, which is hard to get. I hated that because now I got to farm a raid that I'm not having fun to get this trinket that no one's going to invite me into the group if I don't have this.
I liked it because I actually liked the raiding aspect. It kind of made it a little bit fresh, but I agree though that you shouldn't feel forced to do a part of the game that you don't enjoy if you don't like it.
I hate pug raiding. I hate it.
I kind of like it.
I despise it because I did real raiding and then it's tainted pugging for me. Because like Mythic raiding was so peak in the game. It was so much fun because everybody has a job to do. Everyone's communicating. It's an actual like strategic event that everyone's doing. And it's got this hype to it when you beat a boss after like 100 wipes in a Mythic. And so when you go into a pug and then some guys are just yelling at each other because no one's listening. And then you just sit there and wait and kick and get new people, wipe. Oh, they suck.
Well, that's not the majority. That might be the majority.
It's a majority of pugging.
But there are some good pug groups.
Some.
But I don't know. There's something about coming into a group that I don't know and being able to like impress them with my DPS meters or my healing meters. There's just something about it. Be like, yo. And
I mean, that's cool.
I don't know.
But all the negative
the little bit
that.
Of like vanity in me, I likes to kind of show off my meters to,
but then you gotta
whatever.
sit and wait for 20-30 minutes until you find the full group that's capable of doing what you need
sometimes.
to do. To me, I don't like it. I don't want to do it. I don't want to have to do it.
And that's fair. I enjoy pugging personally. Yes, there's times where it's really frustrating, but if you don't want to pug, I don't feel like you should need to, because there's these other systems that are just as difficult, but difficult in their own right, that should be just as rewarding.
And most raiding actually isn't. The only thing that makes raiding besides Mythic raiding difficult is the amount of people that you have to play with. And if people are bad, you know, because usually
there's some boss fights that are like, it's usually the end like boss fight of the raid
on Heroic
is so satisfying to eventually get down.
Yeah, but I mean, like the end boss on Heroic is like a teaser for Mythic. It's for like a teaser for Mythic bosses, right? So like that might be the fun part in Heroic, but the rest is pretty easy. Maybe a couple mechanics you have to do, but you can cheese some of them. Yeah. Deep, you power through it. Like we've done Heroic easy just going in. And then maybe the last boss you wipe until you clean up.
My favorite part is getting that ahead of the curve pretty early.
And I get them out and stuff.
And trying to get them out and figuring out that last boss, because you're right, it is kind of a teaser for Mythic.
If you have a good group, it's fun. But if you don't, if you're in a raid or in a guild and they have a raid and you're with them every week and it's a good time. But pugging is normally a negative experience. You know, at least for me. Like I've had mostly negative experiences with pugging. Every once in a while, you get some good groups that just power through it and it feels good. But most of the time, it's just kind of like a slog.
I think also maybe one of the reasons I like pugging is if you're really good enough, which when I was doing my thing, I was really popping healing.
The shaman
I
heals.
felt like I could carry groups.
Yeah.
And that was a good feeling.
That was when Shaman was broken because of Spirit Link. It was just Spirit Link.
Spirit Link wasn't in a raid. It wasn't as, because it's on a long cooldown.
Yeah, but you'd stack shamans and you get 3 of them, and then you'd be able to cheese so many mechanics with just 3 Spirit Link totems.
Yeah, that never really happened though. Especially there wasn't enough shaman healers. And also they weren't coordinated enough. It's like sometimes you double up your Spirit Link. But just your healing numbers. Just being able to pop huge healing numbers
felt
really good.
Felt really good. But regardless, it was a fun expansion. I like delves. I'm just saying I didn't like the whole pug system of being required to do content that I don't enjoy in order to progress in the game. I think
like
that's a bad system.
In my mind, World of Warcraft is kind of like this game that has certain pillars of progression. And one of the pillars is Mythic Plus. One of the pillars is rating. And then another pillar is PvP.
Yeah.
And all those you can get gear. But what you're saying is you would like, in addition to those pillars, delves were kind of this little mini pillar.
Yeah, you get some starter gear there.
You get some starter gear and stuff in order to get to these 3 tiers. And what you're saying is you would prefer there not to have to be crossover if you don't want to cross.
I don't think so. No, I don't think you should have to do that. I think you should be able to play the game the way you want to play. It's an MMO. And then if you need gear to do this specific content that you enjoy, you shouldn't have to play a different piece of content in order to play the content that you want.
Do you really need that gear though? Or is it that mindset of the meta where you feel like you need it, but you don't actually need that gear?
I mean, in the context of what delves are right now, no. But what I want delves to be is what I'm saying. Because delves aren't meant to, they're just like little content that they have. Maybe get a little pieces here and there for gearing early and to getting you into rating Mythic Plus. That's what it's for.
Right.
I like delves more than rating or Mythic Plus. So, and I would enjoy it if we could actually push those harder, farther, and get better gear.
So, but in reference to your idea that you needed to do some rating to get a particular trinket.
Yeah.
That is what I'm talking about.
Well, the only reason that matters is because of how the invite system works. You have to have the certain rate or IO to get invited to high stuff. Oh, you don't have the right talents because you're trying something else that you think is fun.
Do people really do that?
Yep.
I've never done that. I look at their rate or IO and their item level and that's it.
Oh.
I don't look at their talents. I don't know what other classes' talents should be.
Oh, I've been inspected before like that. Not all the time, but it's definitely been a factor before.
I feel like if your Raider IO is high enough, your item level is high enough, generally speaking, people don't ask questions.
Well, but the only way to get that high is to do the meta, is what part of my argument is. The only way to get to that high IO is to do the exact meta and the Wowhead copy paste that we've done. We've all done that. You look at what's the best.
That's how we've done it, but is that necessary? That's what I'm saying.
That's what I'm telling you. A lot of people won't invite you if you don't have the right stuff for it. Like I've been as a tank and I haven't had the right talent and then they kick me before. Like I've had that happen. I'm not saying it happens all the time.
I wouldn't always just copy. What I do is I'll copy paste the Wowhead or Icy Veins guide, his talents, until I really thoroughly learn the class. And then I will adjust it and switch it around and I'll have a little bit different off meta. And I've never had that problem.
Yeah. It's not like I'm not saying it's all the time.
That's what I'm saying is like how much of that pressure that you feel is pressure that you put on yourself.
It's probably a little bit of that.
Because do you really need to raid to get that particular trinket? Or is it something that you want to do to get the biz trinket? You know what I mean?
True. I mean, I guess you don't have to.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
I guess there's just been this whole elitism thing with World of Warcraft that's kind of tainted me a little bit because of how picky and stuff. Like you'll wait 30-40 minutes of applying to like high Mythic Plus, even though your IO is maybe not above what it needs to be, but it's right there. Like you're doing those levels. Like if you're doing like 20s, whatever, you're like, oh, I've plussed a couple 20s. Oh, I haven't plus 3 to 20 and I haven't done 20 of them. So now I'm not getting invited.
Right.
What's like, how am I supposed to get those?
Right.
So it has this.
And that's the hard thing is that there's also this thing that goes into play where some people have, been carried through 20s, and they have the Raider IO or whatever. And
that's the
just
problem.
People are picky because some people are really bad, but they think they're really good.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, it's very true. It's just the whole idea of the system is bad. I don't like doing that. So I want delves. That's why I'm saying I want delves. Because I want to be able to have me and you go in there, get good ass gear, pushing a really hard delve and a boss, and we have to do all the mechanics perfectly or you wipe. I want that. If it's just me and you, and we get awesome gear or something, Yeah. Or maybe another person.
This is what I think.
Sorry, I'm getting on a tangent.
This is what I think World of Warcraft should do. Okay. 4 pillars of gameplay. 4 ways to progress your character. No interlap needed.
Mm-mm.
there should be differences in the gear so that if you want to go and get some rating and there's a rating trinket that you want, then you can feel free to do it. And that's a chase item for you. But that's something that you've established for yourself as a player. Like, I want that trinket, right? But I think that there should be 4 tracks to progression that can equally eventually get to a similar power level.
Yeah.
And I think one of those tracks should be delves. I don't think delves should just be this mini track to get you to get to the raid and the dungeons and PvP, right? I agree. Delves should be a bigger
Part of the game.
aspect of the game where you can progress further. I think that maybe bring in some elements of what Torghast was like.
Yeah, a little bit. Well, if they do that, then they can't really add too much power to it, because then it can really get really cheese with augment systems, and then it's not as difficult. You know?
Well, that's where
there's like a different mode or something.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe.
But regardless, having the delves be this really cool solo / small group content.
I like that a lot.
Because if you think about it, that's what PvP is, really.
Pretty much,
PvP can be a solo or a small group content, but not everybody wants to do the PvP. So if you have your 2 bigger group contents being the Mythic Plus and the rating, and then you can have 2 smaller group / solo potential content being the PvP and then delve system. Yeah. I think they really should hone in on that delve system.
That'd be cool. It's just whenever I get on and whenever I play delves, it's just one of the more fun that I'm having on the game. And it's like, I want to do more of this, but it doesn't give me. I've got to the top of the delve system pretty fast, and it's like, not gonna get anything else from here. It kind of just feels bad. It's like, I want to just do more of these.
Right.
I want to get good gear from that boss, or something. Maybe I'm just complaining too much because I've been playing so much WoW, and I'm just mad that it's gone down a certain direction. But we can actually dive into midnight now, dude. After that giant spiel.
Preamble.
How are you liking Midnight? What are you playing? What are your plans?
We're at max level. Didn't take us that long. We haven't been hardcore playing it, but we've been, passively playing it and having fun. I mean, the thing about World of Warcraft, the combat feels great.
Yeah, gameplay is crisp. It's crisp gameplay.
I'm playing Shaman, and I'm going between Resto and Ellie.
It's feeling good. Feeling good?
It's good. I mean, Elemental's very satisfying with just the thunder, the earthquakes, the lava blasts, the ascension, the elementals that I summon. You know what I mean? Very satisfying. And then, of course, Resto Shaman's very satisfying as well. Shaman. Just with the totems and
the goats.
And the classes feel great so far. I feel like they've done some good improvements to the classes in Midnight.
Yeah, actually.
I don't know about the other ones, but I know the Shaman feels good.
Shaman feels good. I'm playing Death Knight. I wanted to try Unholy after seeing how they completely rehauled the whole spec. It's been a spec I've never liked in the past, but now it's a minion spec, and I've always loved minions, pets type
Your
stuff.
Your Army of the Dead is gnarly.
It's pretty awesome.
It's pretty cool.
You can get like 30 minions out, and it feels really good. Haven't gotten enough gear to push too high damage yet, so I just got 90 a couple days ago. Like I said, we've been kind of casually doing it, but it feels really good. Played a little bit of Blood. Don't like what they did with Blood. It seems like they pruned it too much. Doesn't have enough buttons now. Now it's got like a couple cooldowns and then just like spam fest on, Death Strike, which I'm not a big fan of. But I will say what I've seen and from class changes is going to be my number one motivator to play Midnight, I think. Like I was mentioning to you earlier, I kind of want to just play almost every class a little bit and see how they changed. Mainly because I've played almost every class because I played since Lich King, and I want to see how these classes feel. Because there's certain classes that I put on the back burner. Like I didn't like that when I tried it, so I'm not really going to pick that up. Now they've rehauled so much that I might want to pick up and try these specs that I put off like 10 years ago.
I'm excited to do some alts and to try these different. I agree, man. Midnight.
It might be the alt expansion for me.
Yeah, right.
I might not push very much. I just want to try stuff.
I am excited to try the different classes. I feel like they're in a good direction. Less cognitive overload when you're trying to learn a spec, but more class mastery of just it's not necessarily hard to learn, but the mastery feels really good of the class, right?
They have their little niche that you got to figure out, but it's very approachable, and then it's not like over the top, and then they feel, at least we haven't played too much, maybe some will be repetitive, but they feel a little different, you know, and they have like a little goal.
I'm interested to when the raids come out to try the raids, because they're because of the massive reduction in add-ons, they're making dungeons and raids a little bit more clear cut, easier to understand what the mechanics are. I'm interested to try the raids. The dungeons seems pretty interesting and cool. Like you know, there's built-in little like ping 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 like things in the dungeons, little basically DBM, deadly boss mods, or so, letting you know what you should do, kind of a thing already built in. I'm trying to do the expansion without any add-ons.
Yeah, I think I mean, that's I think what we're supposed to be doing. That's what's Blizzard's trying to tell us, that they're trying to implement everything. Yep. I haven't needed anything so far. Let's talk about some of the changes they have done. Number one, they added the damage meters. Great. Yeah. That's no complaint there. We just want damage meters. It probably might be even more accurate now because it's within the game and not an external system, because it used to be a little buggy sometimes.
I would like a little bit more customization and things. I think they'll add that more in the future.
Yeah, more, you know, just let them know, patch note, or tell them in the bug reports, whatever. Also, I really like the ability counter timer for just bosses. Like, you know when it's coming. I mean, you have to read them and stuff and figure out what they are first, but I'm like, this is great. This is better than DBM. I never really liked DBM because it yells at you and it's like holding your hand. Right. I wanted something that tells you what's happening, and then you get to assess what you want to do after that. So that's perfect. It just tells you when things are coming.
It's limited information.
Yep. It doesn't say move now or anything.
It's not super in your face.
If you zone out, you're going to be bad, you know, so don't zone out. But I mean, like, it's there, the tools. It looks like they added a lot of good stuff with the HUD and everything.
I will say Fellowship HUD is miles ahead of World of Warcraft's HUD. So World of Warcraft, look at Fellowship, see what they're doing, and learn.
It's pretty crisp.
But
it's pretty crisp on there. We do love that.
But lots of improvements though.
Right direction. Yeah, that's the main thing. I'm liking what I'm seeing on that part. Like, you know, just the UI and everything, that they're going in that direction with the no add-ons. I always hated add-ons. I always hated having to update them all the time. And every time I start playing, because we'd play for a couple months, we'd quit for the next expansion. Got to re-download everything, every expansion, and readjust everything how it used to be.
And every reset update of the server, you had to go through and make sure all your add-ons were fully updated. And I'm like, we're getting older. We're dads. You know, I don't want to have to do all this homework just to get in and play a game and have fun. You know what I mean?
So now that that's out, I'm big win for the expansion. Honestly, those are so far the biggest things that they've changed, I feel like, right now. And we haven't gone into the raids. We haven't been able to address the raids once we get to those to see how the fights are feeling. Dungeon fights feel good. The bosses are like, what's that? Oh, that's what that is. Cool. You know, and then
there's some interesting mechanics, but it isn't an enigma that you have to look up a guide on ahead of time. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't think dungeons were really too bad in first place. It was mainly raids. So it's kind of hard to give our opinions on those yet. But so far changes are good. It's in the right direction. Yeah. It still has its WoW problems of leveling up, go kill monster there, go pick up book over there, go talk to that guy over there for like 8 hours until you get to 90.
Not gonna lie,
I hate that.
not gonna lie, I kind of hate that too. It felt same, and it was like, you know, once I could start doing dungeons to level up, it was way better.
At least you don't have to do it again on ults. So that's kind of cool. Because if I had to do that again on ult, I probably wouldn't want to play an ult. I'd be like, I can't do this. The questing is so mind numb. I don't. And mind dumb numb.
Well, I like that. It's a new term.
Mind numb.
Mind dumb numb. Mind dumb numb.
That's another criticism for you guys.
Dude, I dig it.
Patents. We'll get the patent for that. But
MND. Mind. Wait, MDN.
I think it's too hard to say. Unfortunately, it's not. It doesn't
It's a tongue twister.
It's a tongue twister. But yeah, so far, a couple good things. We're liking the direction of Midnight, but it's still WoW, and it still has its same problems with a couple extra fixes. What would you say? Like, what would you say is your negative of the expansion?
So far, I mean, again, this is just our initial impressions. The questing system is still the boring. Go over here, kill these things, and then turn it in, and then go over here and then kill these things, and then turn it in. And I don't pay attention to the cinematics anymore
Yeah, it's the story's not good.
because I'm just trying to cream through it at this point to get to the fun stuff. It would be great if they had a more engaging leveling experience, especially for people that are new to the game.
Yeah.
Because at least with us, we know, okay, once we get to the end game, there's going to be these cool stuff. We can push delves. We can get to mythics. We can start to rate, all this
Yeah.
stuff. We know that stuff's there, but someone that's brand new to the game is like, is this what the game is? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's when you're first playing it, it's probably not as bad because you haven't done as much.
That's
to be
true.
honest with
That's
you,
true.
because you're killing stuff later in your class. For me, the sucky part about it is like I don't care about the story because the process of all the quests for the story are so boring.
Right.
So like I don't know what's going on because I skip all the bubbles because I know I have to kill 20 more gators. And I want to kill them fast so I can not have to do them later.
Yeah.
So I'm like just trying to speed through everything because I'm so bored with the quest.
What do you think they could do differently? Just
I actually had a decent idea. Now this is they'd have to change a lot. I think that they should you can level through dungeons and all that should be required. You can maybe have like certain
level through dungeons.
Well, so I'll kind of break it down. My idea of it is I think the story should be based through dungeons mainly. Maybe a couple, here's the city, you need to figure all that kind of stuff out. But you get a dungeon quest and it's you're getting like walked through the dungeon for like maybe there's a couple cinematics in the dungeon or something important through the story. So there's several of those that give you a lot of XP. Maybe you get like a full level in these dungeon ones. Maybe it's a long dungeon experience. You could do it in the PvE one where you have like the AI guys, or you can do it in a group. But like it's like a long experience, where
almost like it's like a cinematic introduction to the dungeons.
Yeah, it's a good introduction, but there's lore behind it, and the lore in the dungeon attaches to the lore in the game.
I really like that, actually.
And then that for one, it's a long experience and it's gonna be fun because it's a dungeon and there's bosses and there's good loot. So therefore you're engaged more and you want to watch the cinematics because you're in that area. Right. So you're kind of more attached to it. Now it can't make you get to 1 to 90 through that, probably. So then you just have filler from just doing dungeons or world quests or something like that. Or delves. Like those are your filler. You don't have any of these go over here, kill those, kill these. No one cares. You can have daily quests for that, for rep, if people want to farm rep for that kind of stuff. But that shouldn't be part of any mandatory. I hate it so much. Take that out. Cool dungeon quests that attach you to the world. Maybe even an introduction to the raid at the end or something. And then, they've done stuff like that.
I really like that idea. I think that's a genius idea because number one, that's going to help beginner players be introduced to dungeons and dungeon mechanics, because in the cinematic walkthrough of these dungeons, you can have, in the context of what's happening, like let's say you're going up against this one boss and the guy that's, leading you through, he's like, be careful because this guy, you need to like be able to, he has a powerful ability that you need to interrupt, or he can kind of
walk you through it,
thematically walk you through some of the mechanics in the realm of the storytelling.
Yep.
So that, and then later on when you're doing the dungeons and mythic pluses, you do have lore and that kind of experience tied to the dungeon, so why you're fighting these bosses.
Yeah, it'd be really cool. And it's kind of almost like in the beginning of each expansion, how they have a quick little scenario. Like remember in Legion, the scenario in the beginning where you land on the broken shore and you're going through all those questing areas, but there's story going on around you. Varian dies at the end, and they're like Uther gets killed. Like there's so much of this stuff happening. Something like that. Where you have this event going on. It doesn't necessarily have to be a specific dungeon all the time. I mean, it could go into a dungeon if that leads to the story, but like having an event, a big scenario, because scenarios are fun. I actually like scenarios in World of Warcraft. Some of them do the monotonous, like go kill those, which I wish they kind of reduced those, but like they can keep those. Scenarios are kind of cool. It starts, now you're interested in what's going on because it's an event,
right.
So take out questing, more scenarios. A linear story that you go through, and then all the filler stuff in the end people can do to their leisure of what they want.
Yeah, so what you could do is you could have a linear dungeon scenario with some cinematics as you progress the dungeon, another dungeon, and as you start to level up, introduce some delves, and it can be tied into the lore where it's, they introduce so you start to have a little bit more options as you level up to level up further. Like, okay, here's some, and gradually increase the options, but it makes sense.
Because you know how you have quests where you have to go collect an item or something, and you have to do like 3 or 4 like chain quests to get to that one, where you have to grab this one item and give it for the main quest, but it's connected to these weird side quests that make no sense. You can just have that item that you need to get to into a delve. Like, you got to go collect this item that this boss has in this delve. So you got to go do the delve in order to continue the storyline.
Yeah.
Because that's fun. We like delves. I'm pretty sure most people like delves.
World of Warcraft, man, some of its biggest strengths are its dungeons, its boss fights, its raids.
It is
and the delves. And so if you have it set up so that the leveling experience is primarily based on that means that you get people coming into the game and they're introduced to the best part of WoW, just at a lower skill level, right?
Yeah. I mean, I think it's a good way to fix it. I don't know everything, but I mean, I've been playing a lot of WoW, and I know what the WoW fatigue after 15 years of World of Warcraft feels like. So yeah, we need to get rid of those systems. I don't know why they're still there. Like, it's the worst part of World of Warcraft.
That's a good idea, man. I like that dungeon idea. Just because right now there's like 2 dungeon quests in your progression.
Yeah, but it's just beat the boss, sign up for a queue.
Right.
It's not even like you should. I mean, I guess you can go into them now. Never mind. You can go into them PV with the bots, which I actually do like that added, because like sometimes you don't want to play if it takes forever to get a DPS and you want to get this dungeon. It's like, oh, I gotta wait 15
That is definitely
minutes.
a good addition.
So and it's not too hard. It's not the AI of those guys are actually better than I thought they were gonna be. Like, it takes a little bit longer for sure, but you can make them take the lead, or you can lead the charge. So that has a cool option there.
Yeah.
I do like that change.
Yeah.
They just need more stuff like that. Just more quality of life. You shouldn't have to group up for everything, at least while leveling up.
Cinematic introductions to dungeons as the main story quest.
Yeah, because all the dungeons should be attached to the story anyway.
Yeah.
It's not hard. I feel like it wouldn't be hard to do so. Even they could make it simple where you gotta go get this item from the last boss. So you gotta go into this dungeon. It'd be easy to make it part of the main story. You essentially have your goal, and then you make the dungeons, and they just you just go through them. Maybe it's not a particular order or something. They can do whatever, but they need to take those quests out. Make it fun to level. Make it not a slog.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be a job to play your game. It shouldn't be. And it's a job. It's a job to level. PoE's not. Bring it back. I mean, like, if you play it over and over and over and over again, you can get annoying.
It kind of got that way for me.
We've done it like 7 times.
Right.
But the first time we did it, that was so much fun. And it's not killing the monsters. It's just because you're trying to get to the end game, right?
Yeah.
Which I think they need to adjust that a little bit.
Well, and it's a great storyline too.
Great storyline.
You're interested to see what happens. It's very engaging the whole way through.
Yeah, and you're just killing stuff, so it's not as annoying as go collect this, go do that, go get that monster there, because it's just you're using your abilities to blow things up, and it's visually satisfying, even though it is annoying. But yeah, so that's my WoW take right now. I am happy with the changes, and it looks like they're going in a good direction.
Yeah, what do you guys think? Are you guys playing Midnight? If you are, what are you liking? What are you hating? Is it a good direction? If you're not playing Midnight, why are you not playing it? Let us know.
Yeah, or maybe this is why you're not. Let us know let us know if we have hot takes or not. Okay, if we're wrong, if we're the only ones that
hot or cold or
hot
mid.
or cold, mid, pretty mid. I hate questing. That's my main.
Maybe you love questing. Maybe you love going and killing 10 Krugs.
10 Krugs.
And then turning it in and then going and killing 15 wolves until you get all of the wolf hide, and then turning it. Maybe you love that.
This game's for you.
Let us know.
Let us know, guys.
Peace, guys.
Peace.
Cheese curds.
Ooh, I like cheese curds.
I'm a fan.